Today we're going to be practicing writing multiplication math stories. So we're going to work on lesson 5.6. Please make sure you're on page 267. You can pause the video if you need to get your book ready. Let's look at our I can statements. I can write and solve math stories for multiplication equations. I can also make sense of problems. So today, instead of them giving us a math story, we are going to write math stories. Write and solve a multiplication story about 4 times 5. Choose one of the phrases below to use in your multiplication story. So they give us some ideas of what we could do. We know we're going to do 4 times 5, so I'm going to circle that part. We can think about 4 equal groups of 5, 4 rows of 5, 4 rows and 5 columns. Let's do the top one, 4 equal groups of 5. So we can think about maybe friends sharing cupcakes. So we're going to type it. Here we go. Okay. So we know there's 4 equal groups. So we could say 4 friends share cupcakes. If each friend gets 5 cupcakes, how many cupcakes are there in all? So I'm going to make sure this is asking for the 4 times 5. 4 friends share cupcakes. Each friend gets 5 cupcakes. How many cupcakes are there in all? So I know I would do 4 friends times 5. And I can solve this one too. I can think 4 times 5 equals 20. And it would be 20 cupcakes for this example. Then at the bottom, we'll just talk about this question. Why is the answer to your classmate's story the same as the answer to your story? So even if someone wrote a completely different story about 4 times 5, we know that we would still solve it by doing 4 times 5. So the label might be different, but the number answer would be the same. Let's turn the page. There's an example. How can you describe a multiplication fact? So write a multiplication story for 3 times 6. Stories can be written to describe multiplication facts, and you can draw pictures and use objects to represent joining equal groups. So they gave us some examples. Randy has 3 packs of 6 buttons. How many buttons does he have? So we know he'd solve that by 3 times 6. Another example, Eliza planted 6 lilies in each of 3 rows. How many lilies did she plant? So she's still doing 3 times 6, but instead of the groups, she's doing an array. And then our last one, they used a bar diagram instead. A rabbit eats an equal amount of carrots each day for 3 days. If the rabbit eats 6 carrots each day, how many carrots does it eat in all? So they didn't know the total carrots. They knew they were 3 days, so they did 3 boxes with 6 in each. And we'd still multiply 3 times 6 equals 18 to get 18 again. At the bottom, we want to write a multiplication story for 10 times 3. So I'm going to get my typing ready again. So I know I could think about the groups, rows, and columns, or bar diagrams. Since we did the last one with the groups, we can try to do this one with the rows and columns. So I could think about maybe trees. We could say there are 10 rows of trees. There are 3 trees in each row. How many trees are there in all? So to solve this one, I would draw an array. Take about 10 rows. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 3 in each. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all the way. And then when I'm ready to solve, I know that I will do my rows times my columns. So I would do 10 times 3 equals, I know 10 times 3 is 30. And for my word problem, it would be trees. Let's turn the page. Let's look at 1 through 3. How would the story about Randy change if 2 times 6 equals what were used instead. So if they changed it to 2 times 6, our answer would be 12 instead. Could the story about the carrots be written as an addition story? So I'm going to go back and look at the story about the carrots. A rabbit eats an equal amount of carrots each day for 3 days if the rabbit eats 6 carrots each day. So I know I could write this as an addition problem because we could think about, we had already written that one, so we could think about 6 plus 6 plus 6 would give us 18 as well. What equation could be written if Eliza planted 6 lilies in each of 2 rows? We do 6 times 2 to get 12 lilies. Write a multiplication story for the equation, then find the product. So let's look at this one. 3 times 5, and I see that there are 3 groups of 5, so I can think about maybe 3 students. I could say 3 students each have 5 pencils. How many pencils are there in all? So I know I would do 3 times 5, so I would get 15. There'd be 15 pencils in all. 2 times 4. Maybe I could think about rows and columns this time. They showed us 2 groups. We could think about rows and columns. Let's see. I planted 2 rows of flowers. There are 4 flowers in each row. How many flowers are there in all? So I know I'd think about 2 times 4. 2 rows with 4 in each. So I know I'd do 8. It would be 8 flowers for my answer. Let's look at the bottom. We have a couple more to practice. We're going to practice 6 and 8 today. We want to write a multiplication story for each picture or equation and then find the product. So we're going to cross off 7 and 8 for right now. So 6, I notice I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 rows. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in each row. So I know with my multiplication story, I'm going to be trying to solve this for this equation. So I'm thinking about 4 times 6. So something in rows. I could think about there are 4 rows of desks. Each row has 6 students. How many students are there in all? So I'm thinking about 4 times 6. I know 4 times 6 is 24. And now I know my label would be students for this problem. Let's look at 8. We have 7 times 3. This time we can think about a picture. We can think about 7 groups of 3. So let's see, maybe I made 7 gift bags for my friends. Each bag had 3 pieces of candy in it. How many pieces of candy are there in all? So I know I had 7 bags with 3 pieces of candy in each, so I'm thinking 7 times 3. I know 7 times 3 is 21, and then my label would be pieces of candy. Let's turn the page. Let's look at the bottom for this page. We're going to look at numbers 14 and 15. Number 14, write a multiplication story for 3 times 9, and then find the product. So we want to think about 3 times 9. I could say I ran 3 days this week. Each day I ran 9 miles. How many miles did I run in all? So I know I'm going to do 3 days times 9 per day. I know 3 times 9 is 27. My label would be miles. Let's get 15. 7 teams played in a volleyball tournament. There were 6 players on each team. Draw a picture and write a multiplication equation for this story. So I know I have 7 teams with 6 on each. I know 7 times 6 is 42, so it'd be 42 players. They wanted us to draw a picture along with the multiplication story. So I am going to find my tool. There we go. We do 7 teams. And I'm going to erase my equation for now so I have a little bit more room to draw my picture. So I have 7 teams. So I'm going to do 7 squares to represent each team. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there are 6 players on each team. So you could do little dots, or you can write the number in. I'm going to choose to do the dots. So we'll do 6 dots in each. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's one team. And then I'll keep doing that to get all my teams. Continue to do 6 dots in each. And then my equation, like I wrote before, we do 7 times 6 equals 42, and it would be players. Now it's your turn to try by yourself. At the top of the homework and practice, they just gave us an example of a word problem for 4 times 9. I'm going to have you do numbers 1, 3, and 5 on this page. We're going to write a multiplication story and then find the product, and you can draw a picture if you need help. So 1, 3, and 5, and then on the next page, I want you to try number 10, 11, and 12, and then you can send me a picture of your homework assignment. Thank you.